Here. I'm Gustav Westman. I'm a Swedish furniture designer. Yeah, I live here in Stockholm, based here in Stockholm. My studio is here. I like Darth Vader. He's kind of cool, yeah. He has a very nice aesthetic. I don't style, I just put stuff here. Sometimes I try to make it nice with some flowers because you were coming here. I love sunflowers. I grew up in Dalsjöfors outside Borås. Swedish people would know. It's very small. This is supposed to be like me, but I don't think it looks like me. It looks like a 80-year-old guy. I always loved the design, like all types of creativity. And
how long have you been a designer?
I think it's 7 or 8 years I graduated architecture school. I just felt like I was too lazy to be an architect. It's so intense and you need to know so much. Yeah, I designed this, I designed this, I designed this, I designed this. I designed this. After architecture studies, I started to do some smaller interior projects. In these projects, I always made sure to make a few special design objects. It started out with a mirror, and then I kind of like after that I did like smaller stuff like cups and plates, and people liked that too. And then like the cups and plates obviously made it more accessible for people, so then we could go out and do like pop-ups and meet people. I think the design world have a very big lack of humor, and I think it's fun to also be a bit annoying with your humor and that people get upset. It's like kind of fun. Reading comments on my baguette holder post is like, it's the most fun thing I know. It was never my intention to have like a design studio. It was very organic. A lot of the people that work with me is like my friends, and we hang out here, and it's kind of just that kind of vibe. I've been like doing more collaborations the latest years, and I did like a big exhibition together with Mercedes. I'm also doing this IKEA collaboration. It's very affordable and accessible for people, and that's gonna be very fun. I moved to Stockholm like 8 years ago. It's a very versatile city. It's a lot of things happening here. The nature is really nice. I run a lot, so I like run by the water. It's like an island, so you can run around the island. It's really nice, and you can go swim here. Exactly where I live, it's like super quiet. So I really like exactly where my apartment is. It's like super calm. I wanted to buy an apartment, and what I did love about this apartment is that it's very light. It's very unusual to have this small apartment in Stockholm and you have windows all around. I like that it's one box and that it's like, that's what it is, you know? It's very simple. I think it's a minimalistic way of thinking in some way, that it's like a white box where you can like put stuff everywhere. So when I first moved in here, there was like a small kitchen. I wanted to keep it, but it was so bad condition. So we took that away, and then I obviously built my own kitchen. It's actually an IKEA kitchen under, and then I made my own doors. The same guy who made my first object, he made the kitchen for me. This curved line is just very nice, and it's very convenient to work around. You could just like shove it over. It's kind of nice to clean. I really like this Swedish pine wood, and that it's stained, so you kind of see the wood in between. It's something that I like. I worked a lot with these colors, and I only have pink and blue, so I have a blue kitchen at my office. It's a very active kitchen. Like, I move out this stuff if I want to use it. This was supposed to be pink. I sent the wrong color code, so it came red, and I thought it looked dope, and yeah, so I kept it red. I have a dishwasher here. This is both an oven and a microwave, but I unfortunately haven't learned how to use it yet after 3 years. That's where I have these stuff that I cook with. Here is my cutlery. I love this. It's so fun. They have like their little own hanger thing. It's kind of fun. Yeah, so I have like a bowl where I throw up like these stuff that was down here. Here's like a sleeping mask thing that you can have for sleeping. Here's my fridge. I have this thing that I really like. It's like a rolling thing. It's very nice. We use it in the morning. This kind of fridge solution creates like a small boundary towards the other part. So it's like, it makes it feels like a little bit like a kitchen, but I still like want to have it open. And this white box is pretty nice because you can put stuff here, and I can also like work here and sketch if I want to stand up and work. The shelf is a string hylla. Very classic Swedish design. This piercing cup made for a Berlin exhibition. It's not very good to drink from because it has holes in it. So it doesn't keep the liquid very well, unfortunately. So it's more of an art piece, I would say. This is also fun that I have this. I've never seen a Star Wars movie, or never seen a whole Star Wars movie. I think they're so boring, but this is kind of cool. This is what I call the spiral stand. It's like a book holder. It's my design. It also holds vinyls really good. I sometimes use it as a drying rack. This is a recent object. It's a tumbler. I have it on my desk when I work and I drink water, because it contains a lot of water and it's like very steady, and so it doesn't fall.
Hot damn! Jump on board for a wild ride into a world of colour, creativity, design and delight with this bold and beautiful issue of our magazine. First stop is Madrid, with Gone Architects, who are bringing bathrooms back, and sexy too. And then we have some Neapolitan magic for you with La Fotosintesi. Get ready to have your mind blown and your eyeballs elated with their imaginative approach to colour and design. Bellissimo! From the hot kitschy mess and magnificence of Memphis, Milano, to the pinky hues synonymous with the grandfather of Mexican modernism, Luis Barragan, we explore the language of colour, how colour and culture intersect, and how colour builds desire too, with small home inspiration from Kuala Lumpur, Sydney and Naples, and a tour of Ricardo Bofill's Symphony of Terracotta and Turquoise, Walden 7. There's so much more inside, including expert advice on how best to welcome colour into the walls of your home, a typewriter with nipples, and nudie Rudy rugs. Wild! Get your copy now. Visit nevertoosmall.com/store.
This gives the Christmas vibe that IKEA wants. Here's a fun storage. It's like it looks like a suitcase, but it's a storage solution, so you can have stuff in there. And then you can also move around on it, which is nice.
Do you know what the brand is?
What? Rimowa. It's the bags, the people who make the bags. My plan for this mirror was to the design from the start was that it's supposed to be like a box with a different type of frames. And I was supposed to do one that was more like zigzag or like more boxy style. But yeah, I got tired of it because I did it so much. So yeah, it stayed like this. I usually just put my shoes up here. Yeah, I usually do that. I just pile stuff everywhere. This is a prototype for a new chair. It's like fabric, so I made this. Yeah, see if it works. And it's it's not so comfy, honestly. But yeah, otherwise I think it looks nice, so maybe soon. It's very nice to be independent because you don't really I don't have any deadlines for my own stuff. So I'm gonna work on this until it's done, and when it's done I can release it the day after, you know. This is my design too. It's like flat pack and very easily built together. Ta-da! This year I'm also doing this IKEA collaboration. I have a few stuff in here. The collaboration is actually part of the Christmas collection that they're releasing. I think this is the most Christmassy thing that I made for IKEA. It kind of looks like this typical Christmas candlelight that you have. So it's like a simple construction, simple idea that I made into a lamp. So I think it's kind of nice. Yeah, so this is my IKEA PS shelf that I got from Marketplace. Same thing here, I just like to pile random things in it. Here's an old iPad that I don't remember the password to. This is my IKEA plate. I'm actually the first one in the world to own this. I try to make things for the table or for the place around the table that you can use anywhere around the year for a holiday or celebration. Like that kind of special plate that you only bring out when it's a special occasion or you have like special guests or something. That kind of puts the extra touch to a shelf or a table. This is also a candle holder for tea light candle, and if you have one of these more, it can become like a mosaic almost thing on the table. So I think that's kind of cool. Like you can put them together like this and it kind of creates this nice little pattern together. I think that's kind of fun. This is an IKEA candle holder. So the story behind this, my grandma, when I grew up on Christmas, she always made a lot of like cookies. Let's see how many we can fit. 1, 2. Ta-da! There's never too much cookies for one person. And then you can have your coffee in here.
So this is like a tribute to your grandma
Yeah,
through IKEA.
yeah.
So cute.
You wanna try? The hot dog plate is in ceramics, yeah. I don't have a small one here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's in ceramics. This is also one of my first objects that I made, the chunky table. It's built up on very simple principles. And I have a round table here because it's like the most size efficient table, I would say, and like to have friends over. And I mean, it's not a big table, but you can fit a lot of people around here, like 8 or something like that if they squeeze. This chair I designed for a wine bar project in Stockholm. So this is an outdoor or indoor chair made in metal, made in Sweden. I installed this, yeah. I'm really pleased with this, it's kind of nice. It's like nice to have my stuff in here. There's a lot of random objects here. I like to have my bags and stuff in the shelf and mix them with my own objects.
How long have you been living here?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And 3 years, finally there's one shelf going up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't like to take decisions. Yeah. I don't like, yeah. It's a big decision. Here's a PlayStation that I used one time that I think it looks cool. The yellow mini version, it fits really good in the shelf. So this is a big version of my super normal juice squeezer. Here we have a smaller one. Nothing weird about this. I only see the people using this as a normal juice squeezer. Honestly, I can't think of anything else. This is also from the collection with Home in Heaven. So they did their interpretation of like my stuff. It's like so fun to do like collaboration with IKEA that is like big, and then you also can do smaller stuff with your friends. So to have that kind of like range or like, yeah, it's very fun and it's very different. This is made by a friend. If there's a fire here, I would probably take that one right now. It's the most unique piece. This is a beer glass and this is a wine glass. People always ask, can you also turn it around and use it as a margarita glass? The overall most fun part of like doing this is like to see how people use my objects and like put them in so many different environments and so many different styles. But yeah, then if they do use the wine glass on the wrong way, I get really pissed and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop you, but it's like wrong. So yeah. This is also an IKEA thing. So it's a glass thing here, but it's a very small vase. And to use it, you need this big kind of unnecessary holder. And it's like, I don't know, I just think that's kind of fun. Here is the meatball plate, and you can fit 9 IKEA meatballs exactly in here. And it's like to honor the meatball on the Swedish Christmas table. So yeah, I think that's kind of fun that they let me do that. Yeah, this one, it's like a lantern and you can walk around like this, and and put light on stuff. You can also have it laying down like this. Here's a prototype of a candle holder that I haven't made. Here's a flower pot that I have made. That's also something that is fun to kind of work with one shape, and then you can do a lot of different stuff with it. I don't feel like I spend a lot of money in here, no. Mostly I have my own furniture in here. It's just nice to have a place for my own stuff. The Togo sofa, my mom always said that it's hers, but I think it's mine. We fight about this. It's not an IKEA bed, unfortunately. It's very old. I think it's from the 80s. I don't know what's in here. Yeah, like you see. I don't have a lot of clothing here, like this thing. It says Keep Trädgården, which is keep the, it's a club here that the city want to close. But we want to keep it because it's fun. These are boxes with like my hats and yeah, basically hats. I always have storage in like suitcases, and it's also nice if I need to travel fast. I like to kind of see everything and like stack it like this, like all my shoes. I'm like scared of opening it. Yeah, I'm obsessed with this cold sign thing. They're supposed to like make you not cold. I take it too much. I think it says like 2 spray a day, but I'm like going around like this. I'm wearing my indoor shoes, but I usually don't have shoes inside, but it's like makes me look a little bit taller. So that's why. It's nice to have a rug here because it's like always bad weather in Sweden, so you need it. Welcome to my bathroom. Yeah, it's very small, my bathroom. The bathroom was blue, but when I wanted to redo it, I wanted to keep it super simple. I kept the cracked paint in the roof. That's kind of nice. Yeah, the trolley is like it could be IKEA, and I have a sketchbook here if I come up with an idea when I'm on the toilet. When I shower, the trolley is out in the hallway. This is my mirror. It's a mini version of the big chunky mirror I have. Yeah, and it's a sample. I wanted to sell it first, but it's like I don't really like it, so yeah, I only have it here. Inspiration for me is such a hard question because I'm like, I feel like I just sketch. Maybe I get inspiration from everywhere, but for me, it's probably more about like stuff I need to do. Like I need to hang out with my friends. I need to run. I do that every day. I feel like that's more my thing, you know, that I need to like stay creative and like travel. Or for me, it's more like some days I just wake up and I feel like creative and I can like sit, and then I'm like, I have to cancel all my plans because then I know that I'm gonna come up with so many good ideas this day, and then maybe next time it happens is like in a half year. I don't know.
Sign up to our newsletter for subscriber-only content and exclusive offers. Visit nevertoosmall.com/subscribe.